Thank you, viewers, for joining us. Welcome to our second episode. The last episode we touched base on estate planning, and today we are more focused on the legality and compliance and risk management in an estate planning. Today, Mr. Budali, can we just touch base on any laws that are associated with estate planning?
Thank you, Amu. Thank you very much, viewers, for joining us for episode 2. The laws that regulates our estate planning in South Africa includes administration of estate, where it articulates or elaborates on how your estate needs to be administered. We follow the rules in terms of the administration of estate. Obviously, we'll also look at whether you have a will or you do not have a will, where then if you have a will, we'll then look into your estate administration. Or if you don't have a will, we'll then look into a law called interstate succession that will then guide us in terms of how your late administration needs to be handled. Unfortunately, there you don't have a liberty to choose who to benefit what or what needs to go to who, because you did not have a will. But if you want to choose, obviously you need to have a will to do that. We also have what we call Estate Duty Act that regulates in terms of how much the duty of your estate needs to be paid and so forth. And if you do have properties, also we need to look at what we call trust property control. If your properties are in the trust, then we need to also consider the regulation and how to comply with the Trust Property Act. Those are the laws that regulate our succession planning.
And when we talk about administration of estates,
Yeah.
who are the main role players?
So in our estate, when we do the administration of estate, the main role players obviously will then be the Master of High Court, where he is the one who overlooks or oversee everything that happens in your estate. He will be the person that once you nominate the executor, whether the family nominates the executor in a position where there's no will, or where you nominate the executor in your will to say who will be the executor, then the Master of High Court will then approve that particular nominated person. And that's where the executor is also a second role player into the administration of your estate or estate planning as a whole.
And for viewers who do not understand what is an executor, what is an executor?
So the executor is a person who is nominated by either the family or yourself while you're still living in your will to say this person will take care of my estate, and then the executor focuses on executing your wishes. It focuses on locating your assets, focuses on paying the taxes if there's any tax needs to be paid. They will also be responsible to pay all administrative costs of your estate. They will be responsible of paying the estate duties, the master's fees, and also they will be eligible to be paid 3.5% of your estate or your estate value.
Let's talk about life insurances. For people who have life insurances, how does that now be part of the estate planning?
Look, when we do estate planning and when we incorporate it with administration of estate, life insurance is very important because most people, they would have a life insurance for a specific need. For example, you can have a life insurance because you have a bond house that when you die and you haven't finished paying the bond, you need to settle the bond, but neglect the fact that your estate needs to have liquidity. Other people will have a life insurance for their kids. To say, if I die, I need my kids to have a certain amount of money that needs to be paid to them, and they nominate their kids as the beneficiaries. But while we do your estate planning, that's where we'll also identify, as I mentioned in our previous episode, to say when we do your estate planning, we identify how much would be needed as a liquidity or as a cash that needs to be available when we do administration of estate. So your life assurance can also be used as one element or one vehicle that can create liquidity into your estate. For example, you can have a life insurance that pays directly into your estate, creates liquidity, then it will be able to settle any other fees that needs to be settled. For example, you have a property that needs to be transferred and there's a transfer cost that are involved. That particular liquidity will be able to cater for that. Your master's fee, your estate duty, if there's any estate duty, your executor's fees, and any other debts that needs to be settled, or any other administrative cost that needs to be taken care of. So your life insurance can also help to create liquidity. So it depends on how we structure it. It depends on how, while we deal with your estate planning, your wishes or your goals, it depends on how we structure it to say, do you really need 2, 3, 4 life insurances for a one life? Or we can structure everything in one, or we can structure your asset into the whole package. But it depends. It's never a one size fits all. That's why it is important that you need to sit with your financial advisor, you need to sit with your legal advisor, that they will also help each other. Even when you draft your will, they help each other, that the financial advisor will look into your will from the financial point of view, and your legal advisor or your attorney will look into your will from the legal point of view. So at Butari, obviously, because we are a group of companies that have financial planning, we also have a legal attorneys or legal advisors. It's easier that you get all the services in one house.
We live in you touch based on immovable property and you touch based on movable property. Our world is evolving and now we have digital assets and crypto.
Yes.
How does this become part of the estate as well?
Yes, you're very right. Remember now there's a lot of artificial intelligence. We also have artificial money. That you have money that you never touch, you never see, but you have it, and then you can buy things all over the world. That we call a digital asset or cryptocurrency. So once you accumulate that particular asset, it's also part of your asset. And then when we do your estate planning, we need to also include it. And in terms of how we do a succession planning, we include how the people that are going to take over or they're going to benefit in your estate, how are they going to be able to retrieve that particular intangible asset that you have. For example, you have $1 million of crypto in value, and you only have a password in your laptop, but maybe you can put that password in a sealed envelope, or you can put it with your original will somewhere that it is safe, and then only when the will is need to be read, and then we know how much is going to who and so forth, what goes to who, then we will then be able to distribute accordingly to your wishes.
Can we touch base on how often do you come across delays when it comes to administration and the compliances associated with it?
Yes, there's always a lot of delays in administrating the estate. Most of the delay, I think I should mention, is because of lack of knowledge. People, they ignore to have estate planning, people, they ignore to have wills, and that on its own, it creates a lot of delays, because now by the law that governs your estate, it's interstate succession, it delays everything else. And then secondly, if you have delayed or outstanding SARS returns, we will need to settle that. We need to make sure that we get the correct statement or figures that needs to be settled. If you have title deeds that needs to be transferred, maybe you inherited from your grandparents and now it's owned by you, but you never changed the ownership, or now it needs to be changed to someone else that never really there, or you never mentioned anyone else. It will take time to finalize your administration of estate. Or if you have unregistered customer marriages, now we need to recognize those marriages, register them, recognize the spouse, and so on. You have a surviving spouse who is not recognized by your family, but the law recognizes. There might be a lot of legal battles that needs to be happening before your estate is finalized in terms of administration. We also experience issues where you have foreign asset, as I mentioned, around your crypto, your digital asset. Maybe you have even fixed or immovable assets somewhere in the world, and then we would need to engage with the lawyers in that particular country or wherever they are, so that we conclude your administration of estate. So those are some of the delays that are there. But once you do your estate planning, we also consider all your assets. And then once we consider all your assets, it becomes much easier for us to know what to trace and what to find where, because we already know everything that you own, and we'll also know everyone or everything that you owe. So it becomes much easier by planning into while you're still alive.
Okay. Thank you so much for the insight. Is there anything that you would like to add?
Yes. Look, as much as we can talk about estate planning, as much as we can talk about administration of estate and so forth, one element that I want to encourage people is to take charge of your life. Take charge of your life. Make sure that you have a financial advisor in your corner, you have an attorney in your corner, that they will be able to help you to deal with matters of importance that will affect your life one way or another, whether you're living or whether you pass on. Because if you pass on, you have kids, you have minor children, obviously it will affect them. It will also affect you in your estate administration. So take charge of your life, make that call, sit with your financial advisor, sit with a legal advisor or an attorney, then discuss how your estate needs to be distributed, and how you want to create your wealth now while you're still alive, how you're going to protect your life, your wealth, and then also have your estate administration wishes documented and put in a safe place. And by so saying, I'm saying take charge, be wise.
I think that cuts it. No need for me. After you said that, there's no need for me to now say thank you to the viewers.
Okay. Yeah.